FBI Director Christopher Wray will step down before President-elect Donald Trump takes office in January. Trump put the pressure on Wray to leave by naming his choice to replace him.
His nominee, Kash Patel, has promised to radically clean house and restore trust in the agency. George Thomas has more.
Wray is 7 years into what was supposed to be a 10-year assignment as director of the agency. He made the announcement during a FBI town hall.
This is not easy for me. I love this place. I love our mission, and I love our people. But my focus is, and always has been, on us and on doing what's right for the FBI.
Wray, appointed by Trump in 2017, faced considerable criticism from the former president, particularly following the FBI's raid on Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence in 2022 during an investigation into classified documents. The resignation of Christopher Wray is a great day for America, Trump wrote on Truth Social. Wray's tenure also involved high-profile investigations that led to 2 indictments against Trump. Virginia Democratic Senator Mark Warner says Wray's abrupt departure sets a concerning precedent.
There's a reason we put in place the idea that an FBI director would serve for 10 years so that you weren't subject to the whims of a particular president. Am I worried about that independence of the FBI? You bet.
With Wray stepping down, attention has now turned to Kash Patel, Trump's nominee to replace him. The 44-year-old Patel made the rounds on Capitol Hill Monday to secure support ahead of tough confirmation hearings. Patel has been a fierce critic of the FBI, suggesting that he would shrink its power, close its D.C. headquarters, and radically overhaul the department. Before his nomination, Patel was asked by Fox News how he would restore trust in the FBI and DOJ.
One thing: exposure of corruption. Put out the documents, put out the evidence. We only have gotten halfway down the Russiagate hole. The people need to know that their FBI is restored by knowing full well what they did to unlawfully surveil them.
Trump and many conservatives believe the FBI and Department of Justice are weaponized against Republicans and those who hold conservative values. Patel has promised to tackle what he perceives as a deep state against Trump.
Patel is somebody who has a very different vision for the Bureau than Wray. He's talked openly about his desire to rid the government of, quote, conspirators against Donald Trump. He said that that could include going after the media or people in government who are perceived as having been disloyal.
Kash met with Senator John Cornyn of Texas, who said he'd be inclined to back his nomination.
I want to make sure that we restore the reputation of these agencies, these departments like the FBI and the Department of Justice and the intelligence community, that we restore their reputation as non-political institutions.
George Thomas, CBN News.
And that's going to be a very hard job, regardless of who takes over the FBI, to restore it as a non-political institution. In the history of the FBI, going back to even to Hoover, and I guess I should say especially under Hoover, it was definitely a political organization, and it exercised political levers over sitting politicians. They had briefs on all of them, and they would use that. In the current environment, what about the Russia dossier that was created by the Clinton campaign? Why wasn't that identified by the FBI initially as this isn't real? And it just boggles your mind that they would unleash a full investigation of a presidential campaign and then of an incoming administration based on the allegations of that, including trying to entrap General Flynn in some kind of obstruction of justice claim or lying to federal agents. They absolutely set him up, and it's in their own notes. So to restore the integrity of that, you have to have a full airing of what happened and why did it happen. Was that in turn based on ideology, that people within the FBI feared what Trump would do and were trying to derail his presidency before it ever started? If that's the case, well, let's investigate that and let's look at that and hold people accountable for it. It seems from the outside that, yes, indeed. It also seems from some of the text messages exchanged that, yes, indeed, there was an ideology that said we can't have Trump take power. If he does take power, we're going to hamstring him along the way. Now you look at some of the other things the FBI is doing, including full SWAT teams going after abortion protesters. And is that not overkill? How about plain clothes going to raid a former president's home? That doesn't make any sense to me. They have assault weapons. They're in gear that you can't identify who they are. And in a democracy, where does that belong? Why do you need that kind of firepower to look into a closet in Mar-a-Lago? Again, it doesn't make any sense. It's clearly trying to send a message. They were clearly trying to have it be on news media with all of the lights and everything else and all of the weapons in full display, as if somehow, we're enforcing the rule of law. Well, they didn't enforce it against Biden, who kept classified documents in his garage. And so, it seems to, again, someone on the outside, you're being political with this. So how do you change that? And can any one person come into that environment and change it? I'm not sure, but it absolutely needs to happen. At what point in a democracy, when the people who are governed say, I don't trust our government, I don't trust the political process. I can vote for people come into office, but the underlying bureaucracy never changes. It seems to be against me based on what I think or what I say or who I work with or who I vote for. If that's the case, then we have lost our wonderful republic and we need to get it back.